Cape Fear Business Roundtable is sponsored by two branding partners located under one roof right here in southeastern North Carolina. Pioneer Strategies is a strategic communication firm focused on helping you build success through effective strategic communication. Pioneer Specialties is your promotional products partner, ready to help you through the entire process from product research through product delivery. For more information about our sponsors, visit capefearbusiness.com. Welcome to Cape Fear Business Roundtable. I'm your host, Frank Williams, and today our guest is Art Dornfeld, who, along with his wife, is the co-owner of Carolina Sun Pool Doctors. Art, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Frank. Good to see you.
Well, the first question I like to ask before we get into talking business is a little bit about where you came from and that type of thing. And obviously, we live in a part of the state that is growing like wildfire and people moving here from all over the place. So tell us how long you've been in southeastern North Carolina, and if you're not from here, what brought you here?
So, my wife and I moved here almost 22 years ago. 2004, we moved here.
That almost
Um,
qualifies you as a native.
almost. So, I retired from the Navy in 2004, was stationed at the Marine Corps Air Station in Cherry Point.
Okay.
Um, Originally from Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia, Quakertown, Pennsylvania. And my father had moved here in 1993 and loved to go to Myrtle Beach, but he found a place called Saltaire Village just in Calabash right there and decided to move there. Enjoyed being in North Carolina and found Brunswick County.
Well, on the same vein, obviously we're going to talk about work, but when you're not at work, what is your favorite non-work related either thing to do or place to go here in the southeastern part of our state?
Well, I like to fish. I like to. I'm real happy about flounder season being open the 1st of September. So it's only for 2 weeks, but it's better than what we had. So it's
Better than nothing.
that's right. I'm looking forward to that. I do like to go to a lot of stock car races. I like NASCAR racing. I like the smaller places like Florence Motor Speedway. Used to like to go to Myrtle Beach Speedway. Go to Darlington, Martinsville, things like that. But around here, we enjoy volunteering too. We do a lot of volunteer work. My wife is part of the Friends of the Library at the Rourke Library and is a trustee, so she does that. I am the commander of the American Legion Post 550 in Charlotte. Just became the commander a couple weeks ago, and like to volunteer with that, helping veterans in Brunswick County. So I do a lot of that.
And, in terms of fishing, I like to fish. I'm not very good at it. If I were fishing with you, I would probably catch bait for you to use. That seems to be how I usually contribute. And you mentioned your military service. Thank you for your service. And that kind
Okay.
of ties into the next question, which is obviously you've got a business that you and your wife co-own now. Tell us about your career path and how you went from active duty service to ending up as owner of this business.
So my father had started this business, 1994. He started working for a pool maintenance company because he was semi-retired, wanted something to do. And so he went ahead and met a couple of other guys there, a couple of retired doctors. One was a podiatrist, another one was a dentist. And when he came here, he was looking for something to do. He was the only one that wasn't a doctor. He met up with these guys. Well, one guy, the dentist, was a chemistry major, and he had a background in chemistry. So he was telling the owner, well, if you did certain things, balancing the water for the pools, you would save a lot of money. And the guy said, well, I don't pay you to think, I pay you to take care of pools. So he got upset, said, well, I could do this on my own. Wound up getting a lot of business. And so asked the podiatrist and my father, hey, come with me and we'll take this business, bigger. And so he didn't have anything to lose, said, okay, go ahead, went ahead and started doing it. Those guys had since retired and left, and my father kept running it. And he said, hey, when you're done with the Navy, come down here. It's great. We love it. And, it's a great little business. So I said, well, great. My wife and I were like, sure, that sounds like fun. Good time. So we moved here in 2004.
Well, and talk about, your business. Obviously, it sounds fairly self-explanatory, but tell us what you do, who you typically work with, what area you cover, and what types of services you provide to clients.
Right. So we do swimming pool maintenance, which typically covers chemistry, adding chemicals, backwashing. I do pump motors, filters, any kind of maintenance. I don't build them. And we do what they call commercial pools and private pools. So
Okay.
a commercial pool is one that's typically permitted by the health department. So the Brunswick County Health Department, Environmental Health, will inspect a swimming pool. So it's basically a public swimming pool. Now, there's a lot of HOAs that'll say, well, our pool is private. Well, it's still a public pool because you have a numerous amount of people there. So private pools are typically just your single resident house. If you have a house like say on Ocean Isle Beach and it's a duplex, that pool is shared by the two houses. That's considered a public pool. So it would have to be inspected by the health department.
How about if a house was, say, at Ocean Isle Beach and it was a single family house, but it was rented out to a different family every week?
Right. So rentals are still considered a private pool.
Okay,
So
interesting.
you don't have to be inspected by the health department unless there's more than two houses connected
Okay,
together. So,
interesting.
so that would be a private pool. And typically those rentals, and they change over every Saturday. So Saturday is a pretty busy day for us. We go to all the pools, but typically your private pools, we go 3 times a week. During the season, for the public pools, every day, a certified pool operator needs to visit that pool every day. So those are every day, but there are differences because you could have a what they call a seasonal permit, and that's from April 1st till October 31st. And so after October 31st, we still visit the pools, but we only go about 3 times a week, make
Right.
sure everything's still running. We don't close pools typically down here in North Carolina. We keep them running all the time. And then you do have some pools that are permitted year round, like some indoor pools, and we go those all year long, every day. So um, it's pretty keeps us pretty busy all year long.
I could see that being a busy business with a lot of demand here in this area. Tell us about, what geographic area you work in. Obviously, you could probably go as far or keep it as local as you wanted to, and also, how big your team is and that type of thing.
So when we started out, when I first moved here with my father and started out, there was only 4 of us, and we had probably about 45 to 50 contracts with different public and private swimming pools. But we are certified in South Carolina and North Carolina. So I do have about 10 contracts in Little River area in South Carolina, Horry County, and but most of our business is from the state line to about 211. We do Holden Beach, Ocean Isle Beach, Sunset Beach in that surrounding area. Now we are up to 12 people. My wife used to help clean swimming pools, but now she just basically does billing and all the office work and communicating with people. And we're out there in the field cleaning swimming pools. So, but that keeps us kind of busy. It's kind of hard to find people, because you have to work independently.
Right.
So I got to be able to trust those people. So a lot of my employees are semi-retired people. I do have a couple of young guns out there that are doing a great job, but yeah, there's 12 of us now, so we're getting pretty big.
Probably in the semi-retired, maybe people who have done this in some capacity somewhere else before they moved here.
Right,
There's some
right. And then
background
I
in it.
I do have some retired veterans that work for me, and I do have a couple of retired paramedics that help me out too. So
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are other people here who would say, hey, we can clean and maintain your pool. What sets your company apart from the others in the crowd?
So ours we are customer service oriented. So when my customers call, they get me on the phone. So they're not getting a machine, they're not getting a receptionist. They get me. So I think what sets us apart is our customer service base, and we get on it right away. I have a great working relationship with some of the property management companies, which is really important. So They recommend me to people who build houses and have swimming pools here, especially Ocean Isle, Holden Beach, and Sunset. So I work really great with them, and so that keeps us kind of busy um, all the time.
Well, changing gears a little bit, I always like for people who have been successful in their career to share advice with people who may be starting out. So, a couple of questions along those lines. The first one is, what have you learned over the course of your career, whether it be your military career or your business career, that you wish you had known on day one?
Wow. I wish I'd have known a little bit more about the operations of managing people. I managed a lot of people in the military, but it's kind of different. The military, you have a little bit of a structure and everybody knows the rules. And if you don't, you go in the gray area, you're going to get, told about it.
Right.
Where, the civilian population is a little bit more difficult to deal with. But the thing that I learned most is if you take care of your people, they're going to take care of you. So they're the most important asset that I have, and I try to make sure that those people get taken care of.
I think that's such an important lesson. I mean, I see businesses that run their people ragged and then wonder why they leave or wonder why they snap off at a customer. And, your people are the public facing image of your business when dealing with clients. So I think that's certainly, a very important lesson. And, kind of a takeaway from that also, I know a lot of people who may be a golf pro and they know golf, but they don't know how to run a business. And there's the whole concept of not just the people side of it, but it's one thing to clean a pool. It's another thing to run a business cleaning and maintaining pools.
Right,
Those are
exactly.
two different skill sets. And obviously, if you've got 12 people working for you and you've grown it to that level, you've gone from probably, I mean, your wife's role is a good example. She's gone from cleaning pools to helping run the operation and basically working on the business as much as working in it, probably.
Right, exactly. And yeah, she's been really great. She has taken on a role that she probably never thought she was going to wind
Right.
up doing. So it expands her horizons a little bit, but it's really a benefit to me because I can work more on operations than trying to do billing and paperwork type stuff. So
And it's good, it's good for you to be able to focus on what's your most important use of your time, and that's probably the most important use of her time, and it just allows you to take it to that next level. Another related question is if somebody came to you today and said, "I'm just starting out in my career," let's say they wanted to get into a business like yours or any kind of business, what advice would you give that person starting out in their career?
well, I'll tell you, especially for customer service oriented business, be the one to answer the phone. And when you tell somebody you're going to do something, do what you say you're going to do. So if you provide this type of service, make sure that's what you're doing. And if especially when it comes to complaints, because everybody's going to get complaints. You could be the best one out there, somebody's not going to be happy. Jump on it and take care of it right away. If you're the one that answers the phone and you're taking all the information, you're going to solve the problem. They feel better about it, and a lot of them. I'll answer the phone on a Sunday, and I've had customers say I didn't expect to get anybody to answer the phone, but I try to answer the phone all the time. So I try to treat the customer as I would want to be treated if I was hiring a service. I want to be like I'm your only customer. So if you treat your customers like they're the only one, then you're going to have a lot of happy
Yeah.
customers.
And they're going to treat you like you're the only one and not go shopping too.
Exactly.
One thing you just sort of touched on a little bit is, expectations. People, if they expect this and they get this, they're not going to be happy. But you don't even, it's good to exceed expectations, but if you just meet the expectations they have, you're generally going to be in good shape. It's like a simple analogy, when I go into a grocery store and things aren't where I expect them to be, I get frustrated. I want that consistency. And I think people want to know that they're going to be able to expect a consistent level of service from whoever they're dealing with in whatever business it is. And if you set a standard, you got to keep that standard up after you set it.
Right, exactly. And all the people that work for us, they strive to keep that standard. And it's not often that I have to talk to anybody about, hey, we need to do this. We're successful and growing because of the people that work for us, and it's just been a real pleasure because I've been lucky. I've had a lot of great people working for us. So
And it's good if you've got them all singing from the same sheet of music as well. I had a client years ago that was a law firm, and I was interviewing all their attorneys from the partners all the way down to the brand new associates about their marketing and their networking. And one thing that every single one of them said, and they repeated it word for word, is we don't work for the firm, we work for the client. And that told me that the owner had been able to get every single person on his team to buy into his philosophy.
that's great.
And it's one thing for him to say it, but if the newest associate's not saying it, something's missing. And that's, it sounds like you've been able to maintain that as you've grown from a smaller operation up to 12 people, and hopefully continuing to grow. There's certainly lots of opportunity in this area.
Yeah, it's terrific. So my wife has laid out for the last 5 years. We have grown every year for the last 5 years. So it's been really terrific to watch it get as big as it has.
And I don't have a pool, but I've owned a hot tub, and I can tell you it was a pain to clean. I wasn't sure if I was mixing the chemicals right or if I was accidentally making a bomb.
Right.
When I mix that stuff or making
I,
something that was
my
going to eat the
customers,
skin off of
they
it.
ask me, my customers say, so what do you do with your pool? I don't have a pool.
I was our hot tub was on our property when we bought the house, and I was very happy when I sold it. We just didn't use it that much, but maintaining a pool is, especially a commercial one that people are using, or public pool, as you said, there's a lot that goes with that.
Yeah, there is a lot, and especially when not only is my business growing, but the county's growing.
Yes.
And a lot of people that either they buy a house on the beach for an investment to rent out, or they buy it because they want to eventually move here with it, but they rent better if they have a pool. And so most of them all are get swimming pools. The guys, like there's another company called Pools by the Sea, and I've talked with them all the time, and they're busy. If you want a pool, it's probably not going to be till next year that you get it because they're so busy. And then 4th of July is like our big time. So
I believe it.
Out there is like this year, Ocean Isle. I mean, you had to get your stuff done early because the traffic, everybody's that's switchover day. So it's kind of hard. Even the people that are cleaning houses out there, they're having trouble getting around because the traffic was so
I know some
bad.
people who do that, and they talk about it every weekend.
Yes. Yep. Every Saturday.
Well, how can people reach you if they wanted to learn more about your service?
Well, they can call me anytime. It's 910-612-5523, Carolina Sun Pool Doctors. If they need any kind of, I answer questions. If they have, I have a lot of people just call me and ask me questions about their swimming pool, and I'm glad to answer them. And that's the best way to get a hold of me. They can text me too to that number. I answer text messages all the time, or they could reach me at dorndog2001@yahoo.com. That's my email address.
And you talk about answering questions, even if that person's not your customer. Some people would say, why would you do that? You're a resource, and guess who they're going to call when they do need to hire somebody?
Exactly.
They're going to call the person to help them.
And that person may need their pool motor might go. They may need a filter. They may just need anything, and they'll call me and say, "Can you do that?" And absolutely, we can help you out.
Or their golf buddy may be building an apartment complex that has a pool.
Yes, correct.
You never know.
Yes,
some of the
we get
biggest
a lot of
referrals come from little things like that.
exactly a lot of referrals come from that, and especially I get like I said, the management companies that manage numerous properties. When they know they can get a hold of me, they recommend me because they know, hey, great customer. I know I can call this guy and he's going to answer.
And that's important, especially, if the pool's down at the apartment complex, the residents aren't happy.
That's right.
I mean, I live in an HOA community up here, and every time something's going on with our pool, it is quite the chatter on next door.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And it was closed for a couple of days this week because lightning struck the clubhouse and knocked out all the key fobs.
Oh, that's not good.
No. But that's not probably outside of the bailiwick of what you would work on too.
Yeah. I don't do the key fob. I do get that question though. Like, hey, I do refer them to like Focus Broadband. They do
Okay.
that kind of stuff with key cards and stuff like that. But I don't do that.
Yeah, well. Was there anything else you want to share about Carolina Sun Pool Doctors?
uh, I tell you, we strive for customer service. We are glad to take care of swimming pools. We are still accepting customers. There are some companies out there that are not. They've stopped taking new customers. We try to fit them in, and so we're just happy to serve.
Well, closing it out with one additional, more personal question. What kind of TV shows or movies do you tend to enjoy the most?
Wow, I like any kind of Disney movie. I love to watch the Disney movies. My wife and I just watched this one. It's called Inside Out 2. That was fun, and we like uh what kind of TV show? It's like the um the mystery, like uh 48 hours and
Okay,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I mean, different kind of murder mystery type stuff. We love that, love to watch that.
A lot of people that I've interviewed have used that as an example. We like your NCIS, your Chicago PD, things like that.
Yes. Yes. I
Blue
love it.
Bloods is one of my favorite.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I have to love a show with the main character's name is Frank Reagan. I mean, that's one of the great. But, well, Art, thank you for being with us today, and we appreciate your time, and I'm sure you'll be busy the next few months during this summer as people continue to call you to get their pools maintained.
Oh,
And
yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here in Brunswick County. We love doing business here. Thank you for having me on. It's fantastic. I have watched several of the other business people around the area. It's great to hear from all the people around the area.
and I've known you for a few years, but I never fully knew what you did. We've never had that conversation, so I've learned a lot about what your business is. I had no idea you had 12 people working for you, so I've learned a lot about your business, even though we've known each other through other settings,
Yeah.
and just never had this conversation. Well, thank you again for joining us, and to everyone who's watching this on YouTube or listening, thank you for tuning in. If you don't currently get notifications when we drop a new podcast, please visit capefairbusiness.com and you can sign up to get YouTube notifications on Spotify or whatever platform you use, or to receive an email when we drop a new episode. And thank you, and we hope to see you next week.